Right, 28 December 2020, and I'm joined by Chairman Moyo from the United States of the MDC-T. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. How are you, Kabagwe?
Fantastic. I have to move here from the room where I'm sitting. The lights have gone off. Right, I want to find out what is the status of the Extraordinary Congress that is happening at HICC?
Well, what we've had so far is that the acting president, Madam Thokozani Khuphe, has suspended the voting, the Extraordinary Congress, due to irregularities with regards to the voters' roll.
Okay, does she have the authority to suspend the Congress?
Well, she was the convener of the Congress, as judged by the Supreme Court judgment. She's the one who was ordered to conduct the Congress, and therefore, yes, I would say she's within her powers to do that.
Okay, but Chairman Moyo, that's not correct. The convener of this Congress was Chairman Morgan Komichi. Was that not the situation?
The convener of the Congress has always been the president first, and then the chairman. And when she made this announcement, she was with the chairman, so they were in agreement to this decision.
Okay, so who suspended who canceled the Congress? Was it Dr. Khuphe or was it Chairman Morgan Komichi?
It was Dr. Khuphe in her capacity as the acting president, in conjunction with Senator Komichi, who's the chairman of the party.
Okay, why did she cancel the Congress?
Because they had an initial agreement on what the voters' roll should look like, and the voters' roll that was presented at HICC had been altered from the one that they had agreed to.
Okay, so what was the role of the independent electoral body that was running the election if one of the candidates could then go on and cancel the Congress?
The role of the independent body was to ensure that the election was free and fair. And when it was discovered that the voters' roll, because a lot of delegates were being disenfranchised, they had been removed from the voters' roll, the independent electoral body's job was not to verify the voters' roll. It was to monitor the elections to ensure that the elections are free and fair.
Okay, but does that make sense that one of the candidates can stop the election?
It makes complete sense if we have a flawed process.
Did she make a complaint to the independent electoral body?
Well, I'm not privy to the details of how she went ahead with her plans, but the bottom line is when she realized discrepancies and irregularities in the way the voters' roll was presented, it was within her rights to prepare that and to stop the process so that we have a process that's not tainted.
Okay, so what is going to happen?
Obviously, Douglas has been suspended, and if they choose to proceed with the Congress before the 31st with a legitimate voters' roll, I don't know logistically if that will be possible, but that's the next thing that should be done is to reconvene with a voters' roll that is true and clear and is representative of the delegates of the 2014 structures.
Okay, why was Mwonzora suspended? Is he the one who was responsible for setting up and creating the voters' roll?
Yes, I would say that the voters' roll was agreed upon, but the mechanics and putting together the voters' roll and presenting it on the day of the EOC was was on the SG's part. He's the one whose office was responsible for ensuring that the proper voters roll is presented on the day of the EOC.
Don't you think this is just a matter of losing candidates, trying to get rid of a popular candidate?
I don't view it as such at all. Remember, Dr. Khuphe has been very magnanimous with all the shenanigans that have occurred with the Secretary General Mwonzora. She felt she had to be magnanimous and allow the process to unfold on its own and give the delegates an opportunity to choose a new leader, successor to Morgan Tsvangirai. But as it is, her magnanimity has brought us to where we are. She was supposed to act on Douglas Mwonzora from the very first time that he misappropriated 300,000 from the party coffers. But because she wanted to be magnanimous and not be seen to be trying to stifle competition in the party, she accepted whatever explanation Mwonzora gave. And then I think the straw that really broke the camel's back is the fact that another 6 million RTGS was withdrawn from the party account by Mwonzora, and he gave it to Mashagada, and that money went missing. And that was the same money that was supposed to ferry delegates to the Congress. Madam President and Senator Committee worked hard to ensure that all delegates arrive. They have to go out and borrow money that they will have to pay within 2 weeks to facilitate the transportation of the delegates to the venue, because the money that was earmarked for that job had been withdrawn from the coffers without any explanation, and up to now that money is still missing.
Okay, I hear a lot of things that you're alleging. However, the evidence on the ground suggests that that's not correct. Dr. Thokozani Khuphe herself wrote a letter to the police saying that money was not stolen. Why did she write that letter if money was stolen?
Like again, I said, this was all in the spirit of unity, trying to unite the party and making sure that she's not seen as pushing an authoritarian agenda or a dictatorship in the party. She really was committed to seeing a clean election where the leader chosen by the delegates would emerge. But that wasn't the case when the EOC commenced at HICC. The voters' roll that had been agreed upon, it was tampered with and altered, and so that compounded with all the other things that were transpiring in the party, she just had to take a stand.
Okay, now I think let's bring this to an end. The results are going to be announced later tonight. I just took to witness today. What is going to be your view on this result? If Douglas Mwonzora wins, is this a split?
Well, I don't know whether we want to continue down the path of splits. The whole purpose we are where we are is because how Chamisa usurped powers of the presidency and took over the party illegally, and that had to be settled by the court. And we don't want, once again, we find ourselves in another situation where there's no respect for the rule of law, where there's no respect for electoral integrity, where individuals that are empowered to minister and make sure that the party is run in a professional manner, corrupt, and the accusations of misappropriations. Just to let you know, Kamakwe, I was in Harare with the president and with the SG and with the Senator Committee when this issue was being deliberated. Eventually, Senator Committee and Madam Khuphe had to go to the bank to request bank statements. I was in the company with Chief Ndovu, who's the Treasurer General, and they requested those statements. They came, they showed that on December 18th, there was an amount of $6 million that was withdrawn from the party coffers that Treasurer General Ndovu had not approved. And the only thing they could do at that point, because every time they were trying to trace where that money was it maybe with the finance director who said the money was Chagata, who apparently was supposed to convert that from RTGS to US dollars. And when you trace it all and ask yourself, okay, who gave the authority for that money to end up in Mashagata's hands when Mashagata is not the treasurer? The money was supposed to go to the treasurer's hands, and the treasurer was supposed to distribute that money to all the provinces so that they can pass their delegates. And then on top of that, you have a situation where the voters' roll, which had been agreed upon by all four candidates, is now altered on the day of the EOC. Now, if you take all these things together and you ask yourself, what other magnanimity was the acting president supposed to show towards a character that clearly does not want a free and fair process?
Okay, but my question still remains. The results are going to be announced later tonight. There's only 2 provinces left to vote. What are you going to do about those results? If Mwonzora gets elected president, are you going to split and have your own president, Khuphe, and on the side, a president, Douglas Mwonzora?
We have to verify that these votes are actually accurate, that the people that came and voted were the delegates as per the 2014 structures, which in this case appears not to be, because I don't think Dr. Khuphe and Senator Komichi would just start a fuss over something that they agreed to. Like I'm saying, there is a voters' roll that was agreed upon, and I was present when that voters' roll was being agreed upon, with the verification process that was made by the provincial chairpersons. That voters' roll is not one that was presented at the EOC. We had candidates from Bulawayo who had been removed from the voters' roll. So clearly, we're talking of tampering with the elections, and therefore that renders the election null and void. So whatever the result comes out, if Dr. Khuphe wins, that does not mean that the grievance does not go away. That should not ever happen, because in a democratic space, you cannot have a situation like that and let it be accepted that the shenanigans can happen where a Democratic Party or a principal party, and we come this far trying to correct the wrongs of the past, and we cannot allow other wrongs to come and disrupt the party once again.
Okay, my question is still not answered. If Douglas Mwonzora is declared the winner,
Douglas Mwonzora has been suspended.
No, but he said that he cannot be suspended by another country.
Well, he is suspended. He needs to prove to us how he cannot be suspended. Remember, Douglas is not above the law. He's not above the party. He's not above the constitution. The very same reasons that we suspended others, he has been suspended for bringing the party into disrepute.
Yeah, but he's in the ballot right now. What is ongoing? I'm not talking theoretical. I'm talking things that are happening right now as we speak. The vote is happening. The counting is going to happen tonight. What are you going to do? Are you going to remove him from the ballot being counted?
Well, the process can continue, but whoever is supposed to announce the results at the end of the day needs to know that the process has been suspended. And if Douglas happens to be the winner, he's going to be a winner who has been suspended, and therefore, until all the procedures, the disciplinary hearing, and the understanding of what the suspension is thoroughly vetted, and if he's found not guilty to have committed the acts that he's alleged to have committed, then maybe if he's a winner, it can be accepted. Right now, it cannot be accepted in the form that it is.
Is this constitutional? Is there a process in the MDC-T that gives one candidate the ability to suspend another?
It's not one candidate. It's all the other three candidates in agreement that the voters' roll that was presented at HICC is not the voters' roll that they agreed to.
But is that an election process or is that a party process? What process is this?
You can look at it either way. At the end of the day, the whole idea was to have a free and credible election, and that did not happen.
Okay, I find it difficult to understand how a party can operate like that, because it means the independent electoral body has got no function at all. There's no role for that body to say whether the election is free or fair or not.
The independent body's role was to ensure that the delegates presented to them were the proper delegates as per the voters' roll, and that the process was going to be free and fair, and that there would be no rigging, there would be no stuffed ballots, and every delegate would be allowed to cast their vote. That did not happen.
Okay, and yet a complaint was not raised.
The complaint was raised.
The complaint
was raised when the acting president suspended the proceedings due to those irregularities.
Okay, I think we need to leave it for now. The election is still ongoing. I'm going to be announcing the results with the guys in Harare. They're going to come here on the channel around 3 a.m. So by 4 a.m., we're going to have an announcement. I hope that you'll still be awake so that we can react to those results. But it seems very, very odd to me that this can happen.
Well, at the end of the day, we need to look at what the objective of the EOC was. The objective of the EOC was for the party to come up with a credible leader that is accepted by the party structures, not a leader that is imposing himself, withholding funds, party funds, and misappropriating them in order to to pass in illegal delegates and also manipulate the voters' roll. That was not the intended purpose of the SC ruling. That was not the reason why we had to have an extraordinary Congress. The reason for us to have an extraordinary Congress was to correct the mistakes that were made previously, where we had a leader that was not appointed according to the party regulations and the party constitution. So this is a failure by the party, one more time, to put in proper controls to ensure that this does not happen again. Because at the end of the day, it is the delegates, it is the members that are disenfranchised when their votes are not counted.
Okay, I want to then go to a very difficult person. Is there a tribal issue in the MDC-T? Do you feel that there is a tribal issue playing out?
Well, clearly, there was a misogynistic and tribal issue when Chamisa took over violently without following the party constitution. We've spent so many months repairing that, making sure that there is no tribalism card, there is no misogyny card that takes place, and that all the candidates will be regarded as equal, and that they will have a fair, level playing field for them to be elected by the delegates in accordance with the Constitution. We spent a lot of time to ensure that we'll have a clean process. So we had moved away from that tribalistic card. But this is a clear case of fraud. This is a clear case of one candidate manipulating the voters' roll fraudulently so that he can pass in his people and they can vote for him. And that's unacceptable.
Okay, Chairman Den Moyo, I would like us to end it here. Is there anything else you want to say before we close?
I just want to say to our party members who are disenfranchised, who were denied the opportunity to vote. And I'd like to say to those that were passed in and know very well that they are not delegates to the MDC, that all they are doing right now is to further destroy the party. We are trying to rebuild, and we want to rebuild from a strong footing. And I think we should all agree that let fairness reign, and let's remain united. Let's remain focused because to win the election in 2023.
Okay, Chairman Moyo from the United States MDC-T. I hope that I'll be able to talk to you again before morning so that we can clarify the situation. It's clear that the voting is proceeding, and obviously want to hear your reaction when the final results are announced. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us, and thank you to everyone watching. We'll talk again around 4. I'm going to be waiting for those results to be announced. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity.